Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I am absolutely certain that you are doing fantastic. I certainly am. Got to go outside. It's like beautiful outside. It's so nice. And if you have not yet gone outside with your bare feet on the ground for like 15 minutes, just ground yourself, then please go do that. That would be so good for you. And anyway, and if it is cold where you are, you can touch a tree. Now, no, I'm not saying go be a tree hugger. However, grounding is a thing. Some people call it earthing. Okay. And this body that you have runs off electrical impulses and everything. And well, grounding is a good thing. It just is. That's all. But if you're unable to put your bare feet on the ground, and I mean dirt, grass, not concrete. But if you're unable to do that, then put your hands on a tree because that's also grounded into the ground. And I know some people think, that's just silly. No, it's not. It's not silly at all. It's very natural. It's a very good thing to do for yourself. In fact, they recommend 15 minutes per day. And I know that's not always possible, but just do the best you can. They do actually make grounding sheets and grounding mats that you can like put under your desk. I've actually looked into getting one of those. I think it's pretty genius, actually. I even heard of a story one guy. Now this one's pretty this one's pretty out there. But I'm like, dude, that guy is absolutely dedicated, okay, to grounding. This is what this guy did. He took like a big, I don't know, a big spike, right? Big metal, iron, whatever. Big spike. And he drove it into the ground outside his bedroom window. Then he took some copper wire, wrapped it around this spike that was into the ground, put it through his window, up to his bed, and then wrapped bare copper wire around his toes. I don't know exactly. But he did this every night while he slept. Now, is that a little extreme? Yes, it is. It is. And but at the same time, you can't help but kind of admire the guys like that. You're dedicated. Yes, you are. You are dedicated to that. So, yeah. I'm not suggesting you should do something like that, but definitely look into grounding. It is a thing, and it's good. It's good for you. So anyway, loved ones, do me a favor, please, while we're on the subject, because we're not. Please hit the like button. I would so appreciate it. I really would. And also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Very much appreciated. As I've said before, hey, with all these AI generated YouTube channels and all that out there, and I'm not saying they don't have good content, but clearly there's a lot of AI generated material content out there. So at least I'm real, right? I mean, that should be worth a subscribe. So there's that. And I'm just incredibly funny. So, yeah. But anyway, loved one, I wanted to talk with you a little bit more about meditation because I feel like it is something that if you don't do it, you really should, because it is it will benefit you in so many ways. I mean, physically, spiritually, mentally, in just every way you can think of, meditation is just good for you. But a lot of people don't. And most people would like to. If you asked most people, they would tell you, yeah, I would like to meditate. And they always intend to begin, but they never really do. And it's really as simple as just getting started. And then a lot of people will think, well, yeah, but I'm not really there yet. It's like, you don't have to be there. Stop imagining the monk in the robes and all of that up all stoically up on some mountain, gazing off into the whatever. I mean, yeah, that's nice. It would be great if we could meditate that way, but we can't, right? Or we always think, when I go to the beach, I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna look off into the ocean and just contemplate the expanse, things like that. And again, that sounds great. It does. However, most people aren't able to do that. Really, with meditation, you only need 5 to 10 minutes minimum, really. I mean, you can get away with 5. I usually say try 10 or 12 minutes, but whatever. I mean, start where you are, right? So, but it doesn't have to be any of that. And then with the poses, a lot of people think I've got to get in this lotus position. Trust me, I cannot do the lotus position. I shouldn't say cannot, but I haven't done it yet. I've tried, and I'm like, are my legs just too short, or I don't know, or am I just not limber enough? I don't know. The lotus position is where you have their foot up. No, you can just sit cross-legged, as just cross-legged, or you could even sit in a recliner, because like whenever I do finally put out this guided void meditation that I intend to put out in the very near future, that's part of what I say, is that you need to be very comfortable with your back and neck supported and as straight as possible. So if that means sitting in a recliner, okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Or in an office chair like what I'm sitting in now. That's fine. The main thing is to make sure your back and your neck are as straight as possible. So, yeah, a lot of people think they got to get this particular pose down, and no, and the mudras, the holding their fingers certain ways. I'm not saying that mudras are not important. Mudras are it's something that I want to get into with you. I'm not saying that that's not important. It absolutely is. But you do not have to hold your fingers a certain way. You just don't. Now, there are ways to hold like, for example, this is the prana mudra, right? Where you kind of put these fingertips together, hold these out straight. That's the prana mudra. What that does is build prana, which is life force energy. And it's like hand signals to the construct, okay? To your avatar, to your body that's inside this realm that we are in. Those are what mudras are for. And I know I'm not saying it, I'm saying it close enough. That's fine. So, anywho, when we're getting down to meditation, the breath is the most important part. That's really what meditation, well, I don't want to say it's what it's about, but that's the most important thing. Okay? And it's important because, well, for one, it's just good for you, but it also it kind of forces you to zero in and focus right here, right now. Okay? So I usually start in meditations with a good full cleansing of my lungs, right? So because if you notice throughout the day or just whenever, when you exhale, you never really fully exhale. In fact, a lot of us breathe rather shallowly. So what I mean by that is completely empty your lungs. I mean, of course, don't collapse your lungs. Geez, I mean, right? But until you really got nothing left in there to push out, hold it. And then fill them all the way back up and until you're really expanded, and to the point where you're like getting a few extra little sips in there just to top it off. Hold that and then exhale again all the way out to where you're collapsed again. You got nothing left, right? I usually try to do that at least 3 times. And that way you flush out all that old air that may be in your lungs that you didn't fully exhale throughout the however long. I mean, it's good to do this several times a day. I mean, just throughout the day. I mean, I try to remember to do that. So, anywho, I usually begin with that. And then I kind of go into the box breathing, which is really just inhale. Well, there's different ways of doing that, but the 4 count one where we inhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, Hold for a count of 4. And then exhale for a count of 4. And then hold that for a count of 4. So anyway, and then start that over. And really, I know it might sound a little simplistic, but it is at first. That's meditating. I mean, it's a very basic meditation, yes. But for most people who just want to begin, they're like, I just want to begin meditating, but I just don't know. I don't know all the hand positions. I don't know how to sit. I don't know, all that good stuff. Or they think, but my mind races. I can't clear yes. No, well, actually, first of all, no, it's not your mind racing. It's your brain. And you are going to continue to have thoughts. Brains are just going to do what brains do. Okay? That your brain, but when you catch yourself, and you will, I do it all the time. When you catch yourself kind of following a thought out, just stop. And don't beat yourself up and think, I ruined it. I don't know how long I've been sitting here having this thought, and I'm, thinking about what we're going to make for dinner tonight, or anything. So when we do that, when you catch yourself, or if you see if thought comes in, because they are coming. I mean, they do. The brain is not going to stop working just because you are meditating. So when those thoughts come in, I described it a pretty good while back on the audio podcast. So it's like if you're sitting on your porch and you're watching cars go down the street, right? And a car comes, there's a yellow car, cool, that's fine, it goes on. Here comes a blue one, okay, great, there it goes. You don't have to run out there and chase down every car. Just let it go. You can observe it, right? Observe it, recognize it. Oh, yeah, there's a blue one. And there it goes. That's kind of how these thoughts, when you do have thoughts come in, treat it like that. It's like, yeah, there's a thought. Okay. And let it go. Just don't attach to it. But you're still going to do that. Everybody does. But the main thing is, do not give yourself a hard time about it. When you find yourself doing that, I've done it. Here I am going down a little thought trail. Cut it off and just let it go. That's all. So, and I realize that, it's like, well, meditation's supposed to be a lot more than that. Yeah, it is, and it will be. But for people who really they've never really gotten started just because they're like, it's too complicated. And, and I even had a time where, I don't know who it was, but somebody was doing a guided meditation, and it was like a back to basics kind of meditation. And they were doing that. I'm like, I'm kind of past this point now. But I went ahead and did it anyway. And it was, it was great. I was like, wow, I needed that. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, I meditate, regularly already, and I'm kind of past that point of just focusing on the breath thing. I figured out why we got gnats in here. So every time I see a gnat fly by, we last summer we had our plants in the house. I'm sorry, outside. We brought them in. We decided we're going to keep our plants alive this winter, so we can have lots of plants. They're right here. But anyway, and while that's cool and all, apparently the gnats like it in the dirt there. So I'm like, yeah. So maybe in a month or two, we'll be able to get the plants back outside. And then I won't have gnats doing this while I'm recording videos. And then I'll smack myself in the face, which is probably good for comic relief anyway. But anyway, there's that. So, but yeah, I'm just checking my notes, of course. Breath, makes you center in the now, and your brain will still think, and it's okay. And if you catch yourself, just don't follow it. That's all. That's all. But focusing on your breath and just staying centered in now, like right now. It's like, what am I thinking? I'm just focusing on my breath. That's all. Just right now, right here, right now. And will you eventually, yes, you will have those mystical experiences. They will come, but they're not going to come if you never get started. So if you've never begun a meditation practice, begin. Set a timer. I mean, I don't know if I should say, I don't have any endorsements or anything, of course, but I use an app called Insight Timer. It's a free version. Of course, there is a paid version. The free version's fine. I like it because it's got, usually when I do two parts of my meditations. First part is I do it like a chakra aligning thing, but we'll talk about that later. But so that way, and I usually do 27 minutes. So my first 12 minutes are just breathing, centering, and all that stuff. 15 is when I usually do the other things, such as the void and things like that. But anyway, I don't endorse the Insight Timer app. I do not. If they pay me to do so, maybe. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's fine. It's good. I use it. So anyway, if you don't have some kind of timer specifically for that, I mean, you don't necessarily need it, except they do have some background sounds such as like a little babbling brook, things like that. I don't recommend using like music. It doesn't work for me. It distracts me more than anything. I need something that's just like a little white noise filler in the background, you know. Mostly just to kind of drown out other things around me that I'm like, what was that, you know. So anywho, loved one, yeah, if you have not begun meditation, just do it. You will see the benefits. And some people might be like, I don't think meditation's for me. Yes, it is. And really, you don't know that until you've tried it. So give it a try. If you don't like it, okay, that's fine. At least you can say you did, right? Right. So there you go. But as far as the hand things go, there are mudras that you can hold and all that. And and they are very good. If you want to do the prana mudra, right, where you hold this, okay, that builds life force energy. That's cool. Yeah, but you don't have to do that stuff. Okay, you just don't. Just if you want to just fold your hands in your lap, that's great. Just focus on right now, your breath right now. Don't try not to think about anything else. Thoughts come in, let it go. That's all. Anyway, loved ones, that's what I got. I do have a new podcast coming out this week, and after that, it will begin being weekly again. And I'm pretty excited about that. And also, the videos are going to stay, but they're going to be a lot more just candid, because I like doing the candid videos, and I have been told that it's good because there is some stuff that's out there that's just overproduced. Let's put it that way. So anyway, yeah. So loved one, if you haven't yet, please give me that like and the thumbs up and all that. Wait, the like is a thumbs up. Yeah, do that and subscribe to the channel. Also, with regards to meditation, if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments. That would be great. And yes, I am soliciting comments. No, I'm kidding. I'm not soliciting comments. Well, I guess I sort of am. But I'm always open to suggestions, and maybe you could help someone else out. So yeah, if you got suggestions, put them in there. But that is, yeah, we don't have to do any fancy poses or positions because it's not necessary. Yep, that's what I got, loved ones. I do love you, and I will be back directly.